New construction homes look modern, smell fresh, and promise a fresh start to somebody who's looking to buy their next property. But behind a lot of the freshly manicured brochures and some of the beautiful staging that they have in the show homes, there's some lies that we need to expose here.
Lies!
Today, we're going to dive into why I think you should not buy a new construction home. Don't get me wrong, buying a new construction home does potentially make sense for some of you depending on your situation, but we're going to explore why I think you may not want to go that route and what you can actually do to save yourself thousands of dollars. So let's get started here. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the hidden costs of new construction. You're looking at a brochure, you see the cost, and you might think that is all there actually is to it, but that's not the case. It's not like shopping, grabbing an article of clothing off the shelf and taking it to the cashier. In this case, you're going to have a lot of hidden costs that you may or may not have even expected right off the bat. So when you're upgrading your countertops, $10,000. You want to finish your basement, $30,000. You're going to get slapped with some really big additional costs that you may not have seen coming. So on average, buyers of new construction homes are spending about 10 to 20% more over that baseline price. Let's say it's a $500,000 home. Although you can't buy very many of those, you're going to potentially spend about another $50,000 just in additional fees. Now you might be saying to yourself, I'm just trying to get into the real estate market, or I'm trying to get more space than I currently have.
The problem is space. I need more space.
And the builders are going to be upcharging me on everything? Well, yeah, there are a lot of upcharges, so let's talk about what some of those upcharges actually look like here. Developers are often going to charge for everything from a lot premium landscaping package, potentially adding tens of thousands of dollars to that grand total. You want granite countertops, you want upgraded cabinetry, would you like different appliances? All of these things are going to add up to that grand total at the end. Most new homes also don't come with a finished basement. Would you like it finished? Slap on another 30 to 50 grand without a question. Now, you can prioritize your upgrades as the buyer. Choose what's actually important to you, but understand a lot of the time doing these upgrades at a later date after you've already owned the house for a little bit of time is potentially going to save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. The second thing, when you're buying a new construction home, there are delays and the timeline is very, very uncertain a lot of times.
Oh dear, delays.
Let's say you already own a property. You're trying to figure out when the best time to sell is, trying to line it up with your new construction closing date. So you, being proactive, think to yourself, all right, we have a closing date. It's time to get our house ready for the market. Maybe you put it on the market. Maybe you even go as far as selling your home, thinking that the builder's closing date is official. And then you get that email from the builder saying, we're not actually ready. We're going to be delaying things another 3 months. This happens. This happens a lot. And if you go ahead and you sell your home, you've firmed up with a closing date for the buyer of your potential home, where are you going to potentially go when this delay happens from the builder? You're probably asking yourself, how would somebody sell their house without having a firm closing from the builder? There's a couple different scenarios that this can actually happen. Let's say you need all that cash from your current property to actually close on your new development project. If that's the case, you might really need to sell your house to get money, to get this moving in the right direction. If you can't get a line of credit, if you don't have the additional income, this is where people have their signals tied. Sometimes there's an occupancy time frame, so you don't actually need your mortgage and you don't need the rest of that down payment, but sometimes you get a call from the builder saying it's not actually going to be occupancy, it's going to be a firm closing, and then you are going to be strapped to sell your home under the gun. So you want to be prepared getting your home on the market. But sometimes the builders only need to give you 30 to 60 days notice, and that just might not be enough time for you. Studies, in fact, are showing that 70% of new construction projects experience significant delay. This is from the Home Builders Association source here I have, but you want to understand that timing things, it's going to have to be very fluid. You want to have alternatives. Maybe you're going to sell, maybe you've got a buffer of somewhere to be, maybe you don't, so you don't want to sell too quickly. You're going to have to figure out what that balance looks like. If you're selling your home, make sure you have that proper guidance from your agent. You don't want them selling your house and not having a closing date that might not be flexible with the other parties to get it all sorted out for you. These days, you're going to see lots of delays that are going to frustrate you as a buyer. They're going to send you scrambling all over the place, trying to figure out what you're going to do. Are you going to find a place to rent? You need a mortgage at the same time. How are you going to afford all of this? It's a lot to deal with, and hopefully whatever the builder you are dealing with is able to at least give you a timeline that you can work with, and hopefully a timeline with a stamp of approval. The third reason why I think new construction is something that I would personally avoid, it's a quality control, construction issues. We've seen it time and time again. Newer construction, specifically from 2020 till today, we're seeing it's just not to the same standard that we were previously seeing. Baseboard, drywall, the taping, it's just not looking as crisp as it once was. Now, the bigger problem is the pricing has gone up substantially, and now the quality has dipped off. So we've got construction that's costing a lot more for the builders. I do understand that, but you still need to make sure that quality control is happening. We don't want to spend our hard-earned money buying a new construction project and then moving in, and it just doesn't give you that feeling that it's been done very well. Just because it's new doesn't mean it's going to be flawless. That is for sure. There's commonly defects, poorly installed HVAC, systems that aren't working properly, to go on top of all the minor things. So you want to make sure here, hire a professional home inspector. You might not actually consider having a home inspector on a new construction project. It is almost more important than doing it on a resale home. And if it's new construction, you're going to be able to see the flaws right away. Nobody's lived in there. Your basement might be unfinished. Your foundation might be fully exposed for a home inspector to really take a good look. They can identify these issues early on, address it with the builder, and you can move on and have this all taken care of before you even move in, which is one of the best parts about doing a home inspection. Not only peace of mind, but if you find the issue, it can get nipped in the butt right away. Now, next thing I want to say is, hey, if you're talking to a builder, you're really not going to be able to negotiate all that much. When you're buying something that's new construction here, you're really just playing by the builder's rules, for lack of a better term. Now, the prices, they're often non-negotiable. You have contracts that are mostly in the favor of the developer, let's be honest here, and the contracts are what they are. You might be able to negotiate on some of the finer details. Maybe there's a additional fee that you want to waive, or you want to have a cap on. Maybe you can get around that with the builder. But a lot of the time, what I see here, at least in Ontario, in the GTA specifically, is that the builders are not going to be super flexible unless the market is in such a state where things just aren't moving and they have to offer incentives and they have to woo you as the buyer. But you don't see it all that often. On your end, you have a 10-day cooling off period. When you are buying something new construction or pre-construction, make sure a lawyer looks at the full contract. If the lawyer is looking at the contract, they can pull out some things that maybe are not in your favor at all and way too much in favor for the builder. Try to find a happy balance between yourself and that builder and that contract so you guys are happy with it at the end of the day. So you've heard the downsides of going new construction. What are some of the alternatives then? I would say a resale home is what the alternative would really be. Resale homes provide you with better value because you're not paying future value like you are in new construction. You know the neighborhood, you know how established or how rough a neighborhood potentially is. You have mature trees, you have mature landscaping, so you're kind of skipping 5 to 10 years down the road in a lot of cases, where new construction, you're waiting for all the unfinished driveways to become finished, you're waiting for all the construction vehicles to be out of the area, you're waiting for all that dust to get out of your subdivision. It does take a while with new construction for it to actually feel like a home, and that's one of the biggest gripes for a lot of people is you're gonna buy something brand new and it's gonna feel like it's unfinished because everything outside of the home is still mostly unfinished. Now, although I think that resale, in my opinion, is probably the alternative that I would personally choose, new construction, it might actually be right for some people. Now, of course, new construction isn't all bad. There's situations where potentially it's going to be a perfect fit for you and your family. For instance, let's say you want to customize everything. You want more say in the way the process is going. Maybe the new construction builder is actually going to allow you to do that, and you're going to feel better about it. And being prepared for delays, being prepared for the added costs, being prepared for anything that is an issue with new construction is going to alleviate a lot of the stress for somebody who wants the new construction and who understands the process. Let's not forget, there's warranties as well. These are definitely one of the bigger benefits that a new construction project has. New homes are going to come with builder warranties, carry-on. Generally, it's going to cover defects for up to 10 years. So that's something you're not going to get ever from a resale home, is that type of warranty. And if that's something that's important to you, if you're the person who buys the extended warranty when you buy an electronic product, maybe you want to buy a home because the warranty is that important to you. Let's be honest, new construction homes, they're not all that bad. There are alternatives, but you have to understand the pros and the cons to going with a new construction home. They're not the dream scenario that builders make it out to be a lot of the time, because there are some setbacks here, but it might be perfect for your lifestyle and it might fit into your budget. If you're exploring your options out there, whether it's a new construction, whether it's a resale product, you can always feel free. You can text me at the number here on screen. We can chat about what makes more sense for you, and we can help you find the perfect home on the market. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.